Startup Dynasty drafts are exciting. There's so much potential and long-term strategy involved, but if you go in without a clear plan, especially in Superflex leagues or money leagues, you're setting yourself up for long-term headaches. You don't want to be stuck a year or two in with a half-baked roster and no trade leverage. In this video, I'm breaking down everything I've learned from my own Dynasty startups, what's worked, what's backfired, and what you need to be thinking about to gain a long-term edge. This video focuses primarily on Superflex formats since that's where most of the strategic edge lies, but I'll also mention a few 1QB league tips along the way. So let's get right into it. Hey. Before you even think about what players to draft, the very first thing you need to do is understand your league scoring settings. This might seem obvious, but you'd be shocked how many people gloss over this part and end up drafting poorly because they didn't account for key settings. Is it full PPR, half PPR, or even tiered PPR by position? Does it reward first downs or have bonuses for long touchdowns? What about points for carries or completion percentage? And most importantly, what's the quarterback scoring? Is it 4 points per passing touchdown or 6? Is there negative scoring for interceptions or sacks? These little differences can massively change positional value. In 4-point leagues, quarterbacks with rushing upside like Jaden Daniels or Anthony Richardson gain a ton of value, while pocket passers take a massive hit. Understanding how your league rewards points gives you the blueprint for where positional value lies and ultimately shapes your entire draft strategy. If you're playing Superflex, this is the most important section of the video. Quarterbacks are the currency of a Superflex league. Without at least one elite option, you're playing from behind every single week. And if you try to punt the position entirely, it's going to cost you big time. If you land a top 5 pick, you should be targeting a cornerstone quarterback like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, one of those guys. These guys aren't just reliable scorers, they offer multi-year insulation from volatility. If you're drafting a little later in round 1, I'd consider grabbing a stud wide receiver like CeeDee Lamb or Malik Neighbors and pair them with a great quarterback like Caleb Williams or Drake May in round 2. I've gone double quarterback early, locking in a duo like Jalen Hurts and Caleb Williams just to corner the position and watch everyone else scramble for quarterbacks. Going quarterback early also sets the tone and forces your league mates to reach on quarterbacks, which in turn pushes value at other positions back at you. Play it right and you've got leverage all season. This one's a tough pill for some to swallow. Running backs do still win redraft leagues, but in Dynasty, they lose long-term value faster than any other position. They age quickly, they break down often, and their value can evaporate in one injury-plagued season. Look at Christian McCaffrey. That's why I almost never take a running back before round 5 or 6 in my startups. While others chase upside early with players like Breece Hall or Jahmyr Gibbs, I'm loading up on quarterbacks and wide receivers that I can build around for the next 3 to 5 years. Once you get to the middle rounds, you'll often still find solid options like Josh Jacobs or Jonathan Taylor, or even discounted rookies with paths to touches. The real move is to draft running backs later and reload every year through rookie drafts and in-season trades. Don't build around running backs, treat them like temporary weapons that you rotate, not long-term investments. The tight end position is usually the most overvalued in Dynasty startups unless your league has a real premium on tight end scoring. If it's not at least a 0.5 PPR extra for tight ends and ideally at least 0.75 plus, don't get baited into taking a tight end early just because you need one. While guys like Sam Laporta, Trey McBride, and Brock Bowers are incredibly talented, they're often way overdrafted in startups, and that's where you can get elite wide receivers or your second quarterback instead. I typically fade the position unless I see a value dip or unless the format heavily favors tight ends. What I do is instead look for value later on. I'll target breakout candidates like Kyle Pitts, Harold Fannin Jr., or even stash a couple young athletic tight ends who might take over mid-season. You don't need a Kelsey to win, especially when the positional scarcity inflates the cost. Draft smart and build depth elsewhere. We all love the hype. Rookie content is everywhere, and it's tempting to think you're getting the next Puka Nacua or Amon-Ra St. Brown in every single draft, but let me say this clearly, rookie fever is real and it can destroy your draft. Every year I see managers take UDFAs or late day 3 players over proven second or third year NFL guys just because they're the new shiny toy. Players like Xavier Restrepo or Nick Nash might be fun to root for, but they should not go ahead of someone like Adonai Mitchell who has real draft capital and a path to volume. Draft rookies with intent, not emotion. Know who's got a real chance to produce and don't reach just to fill out your taxi squad. Balance is key. Take your swings, but don't swing blindly. Here's where the real Dynasty players separate themselves from the casuals. This is in the double-digit rounds. After round 15, most drafters check out, but this is where sharp managers build their edge. This is where you stash backup quarterbacks like Daniel Jones, who could start a considerable amount this year, and veteran wide receivers like Deebo Samuel or Darnell Mooney, who could get early volume, or rookie running backs buried on depth charts like Jordan James or Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, who could explode with one injury. I keep a running list of my favorite deep cuts. You can check out the Google Sheet linked below with my top 100 wide receivers and running backs and my top 50 quarterbacks and tight ends. This cheat sheet has helped me find league-winning value when everyone else is throwing darts. Don't waste your late picks. Turn them into future flex plays, trade bait, or depth that can rise in value. The back half of the draft is where champions are made. When you're building a dynasty roster, youth isn't just a luxury, it's a strategic advantage. Players on their rookie contracts or early in their careers give you two critical edges: upside and value flexibility. Think about it. A 23-year-old wide receiver with top 24 potential is worth far more than a 28-year-old producing at the same level, simply because of how long they can contribute and how much their value can grow. Drafting younger players also gives you multiple outs. If they hit early, their trade value spikes. If they develop slowly, you're not panicking because your roster is built with a long-term view. And in Superflex leagues where quarterbacks are king, grabbing a young quarterback can stabilize your team for a decade. You're not just chasing production, you're investing in value curves. Dynasty is all about maintaining leverage over time, and younger players give you that leverage. Veterans are also short-term assets, but youth is currency in Dynasty. It gives you options, it gives you trade power, and it gives you long-term stability. This doesn't mean ignore all vets, because every time you're on the clock, ask yourself, will this player still matter in 2 years? If the answer is yes, you're probably building your roster the right way. That wraps up my Dynasty Startup Strategy Guide. These principles, whether it's understanding scoring, fading running backs, or dominating in the later rounds, these have helped me build teams that not only win now, but stay competitive year after year. If you take nothing else from this video, remember this: draft with purpose. Have a plan, stay flexible, and adjust when the value drops right into your lap. If this breakdown helped you out, drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and comment below with your favorite startup pick so far. I'll be posting more Dynasty rankings, risers, and strategy guides every single week, so stay tuned in and join the Bobby's Big Board Discord linked below to keep the conversation going all off season. Thank you guys as always for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Hey.